Yeah, this my first experience in Portugal is very beautiful. The weather is very warm, but for me it's a new country because I don't speak Portuguese. I cannot understand. Then I use 2 years to learn these new things, to habit it.
Alejandro, how was it for you? I mean, you speak a similar language. Did you manage to get by without Portuguese for a while?
Yes. It's okay? Okay. Well, I was studying something about Portuguese in my country, but in Latin America, we don't speak this kind of Portuguese. It's a little bit different. Brazilian Portuguese is different. When I arrived to Portugal, I was trying to speak with somebody to know how to use the metro, because in Bolivia we don't have metro. And I was nobody comes to pick me up to my room. Then I was like, oh, where is the metro? How I will use? And it was better speaking English with somebody than Portuguese, because I didn't understand the Portuguese from Portugal in the beginning. But in 2 weeks, I started to understand better.
So we have 2 years, 2 weeks.
Yes.
Let's talk about 2 days.
2 days.
I am from Brazil, and many people think that it's the same language, it's Portuguese. But I want to tell you that it's not that easy, because there are some words that are different, the meaning is different. And also about the pronunciation. In the beginning, it seems to be so fast. And then I have to say, please, could you slow down? Please, could you repeat? And that's a very interesting experience, this first moment, because then we realize that it's really a different country, a different culture, but in this case, that Portugal and Brazil, you know, we have a very close relation, historical and cultural relation. So I could feel since the first time that I came directly to Braga that we have so many things to discover, and that's what I am doing until now.
Tracy, you also had to learn Portuguese, but could you get by with your English? Do people understand English on the streets? Do they speak English to you?
Amazingly, I found that from the day I arrived at the airport, my go-to phrase has always been "Fala inglês," and I found that a lot of people actually do speak English in Portugal, especially the younger generation. So you're never quite at a loss or quite stuck. There's always somebody to ask, you know, for help or anything.
From England, what's your perception of the English that people speak on the street?
That becomes a bit more difficult, because it is very much a generational issue. My uncle and aunt would spend 3 months caravanning around the Iberian Peninsula. And I was amazed when they told me they only had language problems in Portugal. Over in Spain, not at all. And it goes against, certainly if you're talking to younger people, you're much more likely to find fairly good levels of English. Big advantage to the Portuguese, they don't have an accent. And so the quality of the language sounds better than it might actually be in real terms, if we can put it like that. Don't talk to bus drivers in English. Don't talk to policemen in English. But aside from that, you'll probably be okay, I think, most of the time.
It's funny that you mentioned that there's a false perception of safety with the English language on the Portuguese side. I'm guessing that with Spanish, this is even more acute. So people speak to you in some Portuñol type of language?
Yes, that was something that it's a little bit problematic for me, because somebody told me, okay, you can speak Portuguese, but we understand what are you meaning. But the problem for me was that all the Portuguese people understand very well Spanish. Then we don't know when we are speaking bad or good. Yeah.
That's a typical trait of the Portuguese. It's to try to be welcoming and actually overzealous with their helpfulness. Any experiences you want to share on this? I mean, of people really trying to get out of their way to help you out, and then we can get to the opposite when they don't help you.
I've always found that if you ask Portuguese, or let's call them Lisbon people, if you ask Lisbon people directions, they'll lie to you. They'll just say straight on, straight on. I've had that happen so many times. Nobody wants to admit they don't know where it is, so they just say, keep going, sempre en frente.
I had a positive experience. I think it was my second month here. During the Easter holidays, I went into a little tabacaria, one of the little shops, and it was an old man running it. And he says, "Oh, you're a foreigner." And he starts going on, and he was mixing English and Portuguese, starts warning me about be careful of the thieves, you know, the police won't really help you, be careful when you get on the metro, do this and that, and all sorts of things when he discovered that, you know, I'm a foreigner.
Any experience you want to share, Carlos?
Wow. I have one experience very funny. When I the first month in Portugal, I don't speak Portuguese. Then I use my poor English to ask the people, "Oh, where is the Pastoria, Portugal?" And a bakery. And they say, "Oh, sorry, I don't understand." But he took my hand and I take you, follow me. And take me to this, "Oh, Pastoria, Portugal." And "Oh, you're very kind, thank you very much." "Okay, no, thank you, you're welcome." Yeah. That means the Portuguese people is very simpáticos, careful. Yeah. Even we are not speak the same language, but I feel very nice, very happy.
Giancarlo, any experience that you want to share? Did you ever feel discrimination or the opposite of simpático? So did you ever feel that people were being reluctant to speak to foreigners, or notice immediately that you're not from around here and created barriers around you?
Discrimination, not about being foreigner, but if I can talk about it later, about other kinds of discrimination, but I mean about experiences of in the beginning of being in a totally different